think masks are a really great way to, just as a single art piece, to embody the idea of transformation, even if it's just hanging on the wall. Because even if it's not on someone, it's still, just by existing, is a potential transformation.
The transformational qualities of artist Annie Libertini's work are on display in their entire splendor. Whether on a person or on a wall, this Spokane artist's vision comes with a desire to transcend the natural world and explore the transformed with a healthy influence of the fairy tale.
Fairy tales have so much transformation in them. I don't think I'm inspired by anything so much as I am by fairy tales. There's something about the visuals that I get from them, the colors, the symbols. I could be feeling very frustrated and think of that stuff, and I always feel like I want to make something from it.
Growing up in Spokane, the daughter of a biochemist father who dabbled in art and a mother who was a medical librarian, Annie felt the attraction to art at an early age.
It was all I ever really wanted to do. My parents put me in art classes very young, so I was really lucky that I got to have early exposure to a lot of different mediums, and they were very supportive. So if I wasn't being forced to do something else at any given moment, then I'd be doing art.
From a background of painting and illustration, the progression to leather masks was thanks to a roommate while attending art school in Cleveland, Ohio.
She decided she wanted to make herself a leather mask for Halloween and got all the supplies, all the leather, all the tools, made her mask. It was nice. Then said, I don't really want to do that again. Do you want all this stuff? I said, yes. For some reason, using the leather, it's like me using the material creates its own style. I love working with the leather because it's so flexible. You can do so much with it, and the more I work with it, the more things I figure out I can do. It's actually pretty simple. I'll cut out a template in paper, so I have some idea where I'm going before I cut out a piece of leather. And then from there, I cut it out in flat leather and soak it in water, and then it becomes malleable. You can mold it and it'll keep its shape. And then while it's wet, I'll carve marks in it with tools and just do a lot of molding by hand and then let it dry. I use veggie tanned leather. There's less chemicals used in the process, and I use different thicknesses depending on what the mask is. If there's multiple pieces, glue them together, and then the next step is to paint it, finish it. It's an amazingly simple process. Some of my favorites are the owls. I love owls. They make great masks because their faces are so like ours. They're kind of flat and their eyes are sort of in the same place, so they work really well on a human face. And I really like making feathers. I think my favorite one that I've made was my Day of the Dead mask. I liked it because I got to use so many different techniques on it, because it's a skull and then it's got all the carving and the painting on it. I also made life-sized flowers and leaves out of leather to make sort of a wreath around its head. And then I used thicker leather to cut out geometric shapes that I then painted with metal. So I got to make the mask look like it was made out of a bunch of different materials when it's really only made out of one.
Music, another of Annie's passions, gets played on a stage in downtown Spokane. A veteran of many different music styles, including Irish punk, she has now teamed up with other local musicians advancing to untraditional bluegrass.
I don't think you could ever escape having the different things you do influence each other. I've been in very active bands for many years where it was my weekend job, and then my art was what I could do on my time off. But now I'm lucky enough to be able to do my art sort of during the day, and the music's almost more like my time off thing.
The popularity of handmade masks for any number of occasions bears fruit each time Annie is asked to make special masks for special occasions.
My favorite thing is when someone buys a mask from me and then they send me a picture. It's on them, they have their costume, their concept, and my mask is only one part of it. But I get a decent number of people write back and say, I wore it to, this event and everyone said it was great, or, it was so perfect. It's nice to know that the masks are in so many different places in the world, even if I'll never see them again. I can't keep them all. I have to let them go somewhere, because otherwise what's the point in making them? So I think having to let them go, it makes you focus more on the next thing you're going to make. Because usually when I'm finished, I'm not thinking about that one anymore. It could probably disappear and I wouldn't notice, but I'm thinking about the next one.
If you have an idea for Northwest Profiles, send it to KSPS TV, 3911 South Regal, Spokane, Washington 99223. Northwest Profiles is a presentation of KSPS Public Television.